Hey jumpers, Crossrope athlete Jenica here to talk about some body weight exercises that you might come across in the Crossrope app workouts. They will be in the daily app workouts as well as in some of the challenges. So today we're going to talk about planks. So we've got the elbow plank and the extended plank that you will find in the app currently. We'll start out with the extended plank, which is a little bit easier to hold, and then we'll go into that elbow plank. I will give you some modifiers as well as some different variations of the plank. Here we go. So in our extended plank, we are doing a full arm extension. If you want to get down on all fours, get those hands right under your shoulders, arms fully extended, and tuck those toes under a little bit, and then pop up, extending those legs. So we've got our arms fully extended, we've got our legs fully extended, we've got our core pulled in tight. Everything's pulled in tight there. We are engaging our glutes as well. We want a nice straight back all the way from the top of our head to the tip of our tailbone. So we might tuck our tailbone under just a little bit to make sure that we are engaging those glutes and engaging that core, keeping that back straight. Pressing those toes into the floor to make sure that we are engaging our glutes and keeping that core pulled in tight. Don't forget to breathe through it. We don't want to look up towards the ceiling. We don't want to stare down underneath at our feet. We want a nice neutral spine all the way through. Now if you need to drop down to your knees, you can do that as a beginner modifier. Drop down to your knees, but pull that core up and in and keep that back straight. So same thing, it's a change in position. So those knees are on the floor instead of your toes, but you still have that neutral, straight spine all the way from the top of your head down to your tailbone. And you really, really, really have to think about it now, because using those knees allows you to cheat even easier. So we don't want to cheat ourselves. We want to work our bodies. So think core, think glutes, squeeze that tushy, pull that belly in, and hold it. But don't forget to breathe. We have to keep breathing and think back straight. And that is our knee modifier for the extended plank. You could also choose to put your hands up on a weight bench or maybe like the second or third stair of your staircase as a way to modify and make it a little less intense, but that way you can still do a full extended plank on your toes while engaging your core. Now next, we're going to go down to our elbows or forearms for the elbow plank. That is a little more intense. So, just like that, we are going to put our elbows on the floor underneath our shoulders. We are going to extend those legs. We want our feet about hip distance apart. And then we are pulling it all in. Pull it in tight, core in, tailbone tucked under to make sure that we are engaging our core all the way around. Driving those elbows into the floor and driving those toes into the floor. If your plank is working right and you are really working the muscles that you should be, you should feel the shakes. You don't want it to hurt your back. You don't want your back taking over. Pull that core in, tuck that tailbone under, and hold that plank. Again, if you're shaking in your abs, it's working. If you need to drop down to your knees, just like with that extended plank, you can drop down to your knees in your elbow plank. But just like with that extended plank, you really, really have to pay attention. Pull that core in, hold it nice and tight. Tuck that tailbone under just a bit to make sure that everything's in tight, nice straight back, and hold it there. Same thing, neutral spine, straight all the way from the top of our head to the tip of our tailbone on that knee plank. And always remember to breathe. Throughout our body weight exercises and all of our jumping, you need air, so keep on breathing. The beginner modifier, again, as an alternative to dropping to your knees, would be to elevate those hands. So you would put your forearms on a weight bench or a countertop or your kitchen table or a chair. Lots of things you can use, but do make sure that it is sturdy and stable and won't slide out from under you. Inclining your body so that your upper half is above your lower half will make those planks easier as you get started on your fitness journey, but also require that you really work the core. Whereas when you drop down to your knees, it's pretty easy to cheat that plank. So make sure that you're really engaging, or use that alternative incline to get more engagement in the core. Some variations on the plank are: in an elbow plank or extended plank, you can do knee taps, where you keep that core nice and tight, those shoulders and that back nice and stable, and you just gently tap those knees down to the floor. Now you're not rocking your hips as you tap those knees. We are stable. Back is straight, core is solid, just tapping those knees. You can do that from the extended plank as well. Fully extended and knee taps. Core pulled in tight, straight back, breathing through it on those knee taps. Another variation is hip dips. So you are purposely rocking your hips all the way down to the floor, back to the other side. So this one, elbow plank, pop up there, get that core pulled in tight, engage, and rock down, tap that hip to the floor, rock to the other side. So you're pivoting on your toes, keeping your back nice and straight, and that core pulled in tight. We're not arching our back as we hip dip. We're just rotating, keeping it all pulled in tight. Slow and controlled. We don't want our shoulders rocking around too much. We want our shoulders staying pretty steady as we do those hip dips. Another variation is the plank jack. So you're basically doing a jumping jack from a plank position. So either extended, here, fully extended arms, feet together, jack them out and back in. Or head down to your elbows and plank jack. It is much more intense down here on your forearms, so be prepared. It's gonna burn and you are gonna work that core, but remember to work that core. Jacking those feet in and out, keeping those shoulders nice and stable, and that's the plank jack. Next up, we have plank up downs. So we are going from that extended plank down into that elbow plank and back up. So extended plank, down to your elbow plank, back up to your extended plank. Now you want to try to keep those hips as stable as you can and try to keep your shoulders as stable as you can. We're not rocking all over the place on these plank up downs. We are nice and stable, thinking core, pulling it in, and that is the plank up down. Another variation of the plank you can do is the plank shoulder tap. So in an extended plank, hold and steady, get that plank, engage that core, and tap. Alternating shoulders, left hand to right shoulder, right hand to left shoulder. And again, we're trying not to rock all over the place on this. We're slow and controlled, staying steady, core engaged, and breathing through it. And that is your plank shoulder tap. You can do plank with a heel kick, either from this extended plank where you kick that heel up, squeeze that glute, nice long extended leg, squeeze in the glutes, or pop down to those elbows and do heel kicks from your elbow plank. Pull that core in and work those heel kicks. Lots and lots and lots of other ways to modify your planks. Hopefully this helps you work that core and really execute those planks. Happy jumping!